Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'm here today with the most important person in my life because she was the main reason why I started my business and why I'm here today and how I managed to reach this much because of her. But obviously, obviously it's all about my hard work as well. But at the same time, there was a push from her, not really coming to push me, but her stories every day on Instagram and what she does and everything. It really pushed me to actually resign my job and start take a leap of faith and start my business. I really appreciate her, and I just, I'm really nervous today to interview her. So, and really nervous. So here we have Briony from Untapped and Delaney from Delaney Enterprises. And hi D, hi Briony, how are you today?
Hello, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Harsh. That was very kind. And yes, I remember, I think we met when I was speaking at an event for Seed Waikato. Yes, and then you were always just such an awesome person, and massive acknowledgement to you. I know, like, since that moment, you've put in so much work to create those changes in your life and had so much courage, and that's really what it's all about. So huge acknowledgement to you, and thank you so much for having us here today. And it's awesome to have my beautiful partner D on today. Yeah.
So acknowledge you as well, Harsh, for your true entrepreneurship and all the businesses you run, and getting to work with Briony and growing that business, and then working with both of us through coaching and getting that going as well. So you're an entrepreneurial powerhouse, and it's an honor to be interviewed by you.
Honestly, I was really hesitant about talking to people like my own community, because I was like, I'm not able to connect to the Kiwi industry. Why I'm not getting clients? And then you were the one who told me, you have the best gift. You know 3 languages. You should utilize it. And since then, there's no stopping back.
Wow, amazing. Yes,
Yeah,
so talented.
there's no stopping back for me. Now it's like going like anything. So thank you, D, for your all the skills and things that you have said to us. So thank you for that. So shall we start with your interview now?
Yes, sounds good.
Yes. I'm really wanted to understand what kind of background do you guys come from? Like, is it have you ever been doing the coaching, or what? How did you come up being, oh, I want to be a coach today? So how does that happen?
Yeah, that moment. We have quite different backgrounds. So for me, I was a corporate lawyer. I spent 4.5 years working in a top tier firm, actually in Auckland, and did the whole commercial world. It was pretty challenging. I think I kind of knew when I was in that world, whilst I was kind of good at it, that I actually didn't want to be there. I wasn't really fulfilled. I felt pretty empty in what I was doing for work. So I went looking for, answers, really. I asked those questions of, like, is this really it? What else could there be? And, I found my way into the personal development industry in some amazing seminars, and got to, go and train with people all over the world and just ask bigger questions, like, what do I want with my life, and what would it look like to have more purpose and my values, and kind of take off, we have so many limitations around who we think we are. But every time I went to these seminars or I worked with a coach, I kept breaking away who I thought I was, and I really discovered, like, my true potential. And there was kind of a transition then to actually decide to step into coaching. I started running, like, these workshops in downtown Auckland, and I used to have about 7 pages of notes, and they were called, like, Why Wednesday, and I was always sweating and terrified to do them. But lots of young professionals came to those, and I kind of saw that there was a gap in the New Zealand market for this type of work delivered in a Kiwi way. I'd been to a lot of American things, and so I started creating programs. I had lots of junior lawyers that were at my workplace at the time join, and then it grew from there. And then obviously there was, the decision to leave law and step into coaching. It was just one night I was like, well, I've got to give it a go. I'm never really going to know. It wasn't really, it wasn't a fully established business yet. I had a few clients, but nothing super sustainable. But I had got some really cool results, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. So that was mine. But Dee has a really cool, quite a different background, which is really awesome as well.
Where to start the journey? Because there's so many points of your life that impact where you end up, right? But for me, I studied marketing and psychology at university, and that's where the seed was planted. But where it really germinated was me working with startups, tech startups, blockchain startups, social enterprises, the whole 9 yards. I was helping them grow their businesses. And I keep coming across the same thing, which was 99% of startups fail. And I was like, what actually makes that 1% of businesses succeed? When I was working with, say, accelerator programs, and they're all getting the exact same material, the same marketing strategies, the same communication strategies, the same team leadership, the whole 9 yards, but only 1% of them were actually succeeding. So I got thrusted into this quest to understand what is it truly that is making that 1% successful. And that's when I realized it's all mindset and energy. That is the number one crucial factor that creates success. So that's when I dropped everything. I exited my business. I stopped consulting in terms of a marketing and growth perspective, and I went all in on the personal development world. And that's funnily enough where I met Briony, where I was in a seminar. I walked in, there she was, and I was like, oh God. Anyway, that's where the love story began. But in terms of where the coaching journey began, that's where it really began. Is I'm an efficiency-driven machine, and I wanted to find the true needle or the true thread that if I pull it will create the most impact. And that's where mindset work and energy is the true answer to any entrepreneurial success, to any life success. It all starts with this.
That's so true, because my mindset also changed because listening to you guys talking about the things that you guys are doing. So everything changed. So how did you guys end up working together on the Untapped coaches, and you have different backgrounds and everything? So how did you plan to work together then?
Yeah, it was quite organic in a sense, because I'd probably been doing Untapped, like the group programs and workshops, and where we met speaking and stuff for about 2 years, and we were actually running trainings across New Zealand. So we went Wellington, Christchurch, Dunedin, Auckland, and we were running these weekend seminars. And Dee actually registered into one of those. And we always had lots of females at the workshop. And when Dee registered, we were all like, oh, amazing, we've got a guy coming. And there were still a few other guys as well. But instantly, actually, when we met, we had a really strong connection. And I think that's, I think that was just that passion towards personal growth. Like we both love psychology. We both love expanding, talking about our vision and our values and our human needs. And so we connected like from the beginning. And I think in terms of actually working together, we originally created a program. First program we created was called Bounce, which Dee can share a little bit about. Yeah.
Oh, it's just about, for me to have that epiphany working with startups, that mindset was essential. I then went on a hunt to find someone who was an expert at mindset. That's when I found Briony, and I pitched her this concept of what if we bring together a business accelerator program and mindset work together. And that's when Bounce was originally born, and that's when we first started working together years ago.
So we ran that together, and that was, it's
millions
challenging.
of dollars of lessons and learnings.
And since then, so that's actually cool to highlight the evolution. So since then, Dee's still got his business that he does private coaching and men's workshops for, and I've still got Untapped. I do a lot of female development and personal growth programs for, and then together, maybe a year and a half ago,
during lockdown,
we kind of recreated. So Bounce was originally like mindset for entrepreneurs or people in that like ideation phase, and it was awesome, and we got some amazing results. But then we decided like coaching for us is the industry we truly believe in. It's the industry we think will catapult humanity. It's the industry we're completely committed to. And so we thought, well, why don't we build something that's like for that industry, with both of our skills, because Dee had lots of, there was lots of like business background and element in our mindset training that we could give back to this industry. So we created, the Coach the Coach program, and since then the Untapped Coaches brand. And that's really grown and expanded, and we just keep optimizing those programs. But that's kind of, there's a lot of challenges. Obviously we're a relationship, so we're business partners and a relationship, so there's so many lessons and challenges that we've had, but it's also been like one of the most rewarding journeys to be able to create that impact with your partner, like alongside you. It's a pretty special opportunity,
And the fuel of it is that belief that we fundamentally believe in this industry, and we fundamentally believe that the world needs more coaches. Because much like my desire to find the thread to pull that will have the most impact, to me, that is more coaches. The more coaches we have, the bigger we grow this industry, the more we can help evolve and expand everyone's consciousness and happiness and joy and productivity and all the whole 9 yards, whatever area of coaching a coach can specialize in. So we love it.
Yeah.
Expanding impact.
That's so true. So what kind of courses do you do, Briony, and what kind of courses do you do, Delaney?
Yeah, beautiful. So we've got, you mean in terms of like how we actually work with clients?
Yeah. How what kind of courses do you offer under Untapped, and what kind of courses do we offer under Delaney Enterprise?
Yeah, beautiful. So under Untapped, I primarily work with women only. So in I used to actually have our workshops and speaking stuff is mixed, but I found when I got into coaching and then had group programs with females only, there was just this really amazing energy and collaboration that started to happen. So we've got a couple of programs in that. There's what's called our HPW, so our High Performing Women's Program. That's like an 8-week, really foundational, transformational. Maybe, if you're feeling a bit lost or stuck on your direction, it's about completely redefining your value system, your vision, and getting a mindset and getting that self-worth back in your life. So that's like, and we've had over 200 women go through that program, and we've got an amazing team of support coaches that help deliver that program as well. So it's a really special, foundational program. From there, lots of those women then come into what we call Ascension, which is then moving into like that leadership and managing energetics and wealth creation and kind of that, where you want to go now. And it's like, wow, who do you get to become to create that vision? So that's the next program. That's a 12-week immersive process that we run, a few times a year as well. So those are kind of my two core offers, and the way I love to kind of also see people go through that whole process. We've had clients go HPW, Ascension, into coach to coach and build a business. So it's just like, I love the transformation over time as well, versus just an 8-week program. So yeah, that's a little bit about some of our ones. And Dee's got, some amazing stuff for men as well. Yeah.
Mine originally started with seeing the problem, which a lot of women coming to me be like, oh, if only my partner could do more personal development. Oh, if only my co-founder could do more personal development, or if only men could do more into this work, whatever this is. Oh, sorry. And so seeing that problem, I then got hungry to figure out what is the best way to deliver that. And for me, it really got a touch pointing on where did my journey start and what could I offer to the market or offer to men that they would be hungry to have and add the most value. And it has been a long journey to find that. Like I tried doing the same sort of models that other coaches did, or even what Briony did, and it just wasn't landing. Like men just didn't want it. It just wasn't working. Particularly all my men are generally entrepreneurial driven. They're very much about creating their own freedom and getting more autonomy in their lives and really expressing themselves and stepping into their born leadership. So primarily I have what's called the table, and that is my just free monthly training that I absolutely love doing. I just had one last night and it was just absolutely incredible, just the community that is building around that, because that for me was like, if you can't find it, build it. And that's what the table was really about. Is I just wanted a community of men who are all driven, all entrepreneurial, they're all learning different things, and everyone shares like a book that is read, and then I take them through a training that is just like jam-packed full of value. And then I love and passionate about trainings. So I do I have a launchpad training, which is 2 days. And that is just like this, like hold on tight. Like it is jam-packed full of years of research and me attending seminars and all the coaches I've worked with. And I just jam-pack it full of 2 weeks of just exponential growth. And the results I've had just off the back of that, I'm just like blown away. And then what I love to do is it's more nurturing, mentoring and coaching for entrepreneurs. Where, say, for example, I love taking thought leaders and expanding their practices. So I have this beautiful client in Mexico who is just starting out in his thought leadership journey. And we, 6x'd his business from 80K to over 600,000 in about 16 weeks by not focusing on marketing, but focusing on this. And that's just like exponential growth I love to create.
Wow, amazing. And I would like to say this, the table thing that you started, it was the most important thing needed for men, because I have a lot of like not really friends, but I get along with boys easily. So I have seen how they struggle and seen things they have been going through. So it was really needed. So thank you for doing that. So as a whole, you guys are working together, and you were supposed to go to I think Bali, and then you are now in Wanaka. So how does that worked out, and how did COVID affected your life?
Yeah, we were 2 days from moving to Bali.
Our families were planning an intervention to stop us going.
Watching everything, saying, "Yeah, oh gosh, you're not going." And then obviously the first announcement was, the lockdown, and obviously really getting present to what was happening in the world as well. I think we were going to a training in LA with our mentors, and then we were moving to Bali. And then, so we would have made it to LA, but then we would have got stuck there. So we were sitting in a cafe in Christchurch, actually, and we said, look, we need to make a call. And, we have it's a great problem to have. We have a business where we can be fully digital. We are going to run an in-person event in Wanaka in November, but other than that, all of our programs are online. So we have this amazing flexibility. So we kind of just sat there and said, well, what do we want to do? We ended up staying in Christchurch with my mum, who we'd been living with for longer than she probably thought we would. But that was beautiful as well. Dee got to know mum, and it was like this really special time, and she had company during that first lockdown. In terms of our businesses, COVID, the business has actually grown exponentially during this time.
Particularly Coach the Coach was born like week 1 of lockdown. Coach the Coach with us, we saw all the societal fear building up, and all these people, even a lot of people got shaky about their career choices as well, and what they want to do and have more impact, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. So right, how can we help?
And that was a huge thing when that occurred. So yeah, you're right. We hadn't actually launched Coach the Coach yet, but we felt this call to our industry to actually be like, people needed help. We had clients and friends that had entirely in-person businesses, running workshops, and there was just this. So we kind of put this like a rally cry of like, come together, thought leaders and coaches, and like, let's get everyone online. Let's get everyone's businesses going. So we held this like ideation session.
That's right, yeah.
That was about just community. We're like, bring everyone together. Who needs help getting online? Because we'd just 6 months prior I had just hired an online business manager, and she just got everything digital, and it was a big process. And I thought, gosh, people have to do this overnight. So that was where it kind of sparked that, like, we loved that. We were so excited to do it and just help the coaches, and we were like, okay, this is clearly a commitment we have to this industry. So that was a beautiful thing that grew out of it. And we hosted some webinars and things in the really, obviously, early stages, just really helping people manage their mindset and their energy through that. But there was so much fear, and there obviously still is. And
there's always possibility.
Yeah, I think that's what we were constantly looking for, is we were like, okay, yes, and like, what is the opportunity from this, and how do we keep our mindsets really strong, and how do we keep creating possibility? And what has since then unfolded has been massive uptake in our programs. Obviously, there's a huge amount of people connecting digitally. 2 years ago, our parents thought we were like this whole Zoom thing.
Clients used to be confused about Zooming
all the time. People were like, what? So you just run everything on Zoom, and everyone is from and Slack and everything, like the platforms we use, people just thought were bizarre. And then suddenly we were like, oh, we're fully across this. We can teach everyone Zoom. We can teach everyone how to work from home. Like, we'd been doing that for like 2 years. So it was kind of a cool, in that way, like, we felt like we were like, oh my gosh, we can actually truly contribute to this massive transition that we're about to go through globally. So
that's what happened during COVID.
Yeah, that was our initial COVID experience. Yes.
And how's the experience going living in Wanaka?
Oh yes. Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, if anyone watching this hasn't been to Wanaka, it's like, it's a place, we always thought we'd grow old here. That we had this like philosophy that we would like later in life move here. And when we were deciding where to go to next, we just kind of looked at each other, and Wanaka is a place that we both love, which is quite unique.
And we got an important lesson moving here, which was, originally we were actually going to move to Queenstown, but everything was challenging. Finding a place was challenging. Nothing seemed to be clicking into place. It just wasn't happening. The world, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was resisting us from going to Queenstown. And then moving to Wanaka, which we originally both wanted to be in, but somehow came up with some blockages that stopped us moving here. But then when we finally decided to move here, everything clicked into place in a matter of days. Days. Like, we live in a resort. We have pools and gyms and everything here.
Very cool.
And it happened overnight. And it just really gave us that lesson that if decisions aren't flowing, it's not meant to be. Like, trust and go with the flow. Trust that intuition and follow those decisions, because it'll lead you to where you want to be. Like, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, when we truly allowed ourselves to be aligned for what we wanted to create and just gave ourselves permission. Like, we were like, yeah, we want to live there. And it's
why someday, make it today.
Totally. I think so often we do that. We're like, oh yeah, in 10 years I'll do that. And it's like, but why not now? So, and we were obviously lucky enough to be able to do that. And Wanaka, as in and of itself, it's a very healing place. And we've got a really great 2-bedroom apartment. We work fully from home. And we just get so much nature. We get to go skiing. Like, it's very cool. Yeah. So
and I see you guys are always doing the cold therapy, and then you guys do some swimming pool, and then you go for these kind of hikes and a lot of those things. Why is that? What is the purpose of doing those things?
Yeah,
do the things you love.
Yeah, it's and it's so, like, mental health and energy and well-being. Like, again, we're so lucky we live in a place that the whole environment calms your nervous system. I'd always been in cities, and I'm quite like a energetic, intense person already, and so put me in a city and I'm like, so nature had always been a way for us to calm and us to recenter and reground. And obviously now we literally live in an environment that is just, you can go get a coffee and you just can't help but stop and pause and look at the mountains. Like, the whole environment causes you to just be present and just stop and slow.
I used to think that more energy, drum and bass, coffee, really intense energy would help me be productive. But what I found is that actually made me more scattered. I would open more tabs on my computer. I would start more projects than I would finish. And it just consumed me that more energy, more caffeine, more intensity was how I'd get things done. But moving to Wanaka really taught me the lesson that no, calmness is the key. Like, calmness is the truth to confidence. It's not putting on some facade and moving through resistance and moving through procrastination. It's calmness. So moving to a place with, yes, cold water is the ultimate calmer. If you ever feel stressed, just go to the bathroom, put a little cold water on your face, and you completely calm down. Nature is the ultimate connection. Like, beauty, just looking at beauty out there, mountains, calms you down. And you'll be the ultimate productive version of yourself. Calmness is key. Don't listen to the hype.
No, definitely. That's a good idea. I'm going to try that. Cold water.
Yeah.
And
it just grounds you.
And we are very lucky that we live in New Zealand. And New Zealand, you go anywhere, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, this is true. We're biased to Wanaka because we live here. Anyway, it's good.
Yeah.
And I always love your stories when you are going for hikes and stuff, because you always share amazing views. It's so pretty. But I'm scared of heights, and I'm like, how are you doing the hike? Like, even if I haven't done Hakrimata so far. I tried doing it, I think 7 times. I've always failed. I'm going to try it again because I'm scared of heights. I always get scared and I stop.
I love it. You got this. You can do it.
I will try again. So doing all of this, and how do you manage to stay in routine as well? Because you're working from home. Is it easy for you to, get up early in the morning and start doing the work and everything? How does that work?
Yeah, we're always
in the discovery.
We're constantly always discovering. We've just changed up our whole office to try another vibe, and it's definitely challenging. When I first started working from home, I would find it'd be 1 o'clock and I'll be in my dressing gown, and I think, again with COVID, people went through that. It was you just lose all your boundaries and perceptions of environment.
And what day it is.
Yeah, so we consciously create separation in some degree. Like we have the second room in the apartment is fully just for our office. We don't really work out in the lounge. This is our place where we do calls and where we focus, and so we try to curate an environment that kind of has your brain switch on and off. Otherwise, working from home can all just get very blurry. Suddenly you're in the lounge, the TV on, you'll be working for 5 hours, and it all just starts to get. So that's like one thing I think we're both really aware of.
Yeah. If you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were going there, that's the power of a room. Like, it's super important to change your environment and have dedicated environments. Like, it's one of the most essential things we ever could do. And in terms of your question around like productivity wise, I don't believe any productivity book can actually help you, because that is one author, one human being finding their strategy and then deciding to write a book about it. And we're all so uniquely different. And it's about finding your true essence and your true values and the way you really want to work and how much work you think is enough, and actually creating your own life around yourself. And it's the crucial thing. We both work on very different schedules.
So we have things we align on and that we do together. So every morning we both get up and actually go out of the house for exercise, which I think if we're talking to any entrepreneurs who work from home, like that's,
get outside
and get ready for the day. I get up and I get changed and I do my hair and I try to make an intention again to set that scene of like the day has begun. But in the mornings we do things together. Like we'll do lemon water when we first get up, then we'll make a celery juice, and then we'll make a smoothie. So we have like some habits and things that we do together, and that's beautiful. And then, but we, like Dee said, we also work completely differently. Like I am like a 5:30 a.m. wide awake, and Dee is like a night owl. So we have different kind of cadences that we've learned that we operate differently on. So just kind of respecting and learning how to flow in that, which I think is what Dee's saying is like, there is so much around the morning routines and the miracle morning and all these things. And like, they're all great, but it's also truly understanding your own energy, what you really need. Like that is really the answer. So we're constantly in communication of like, what do you need today? How can I support you today? When are you going to get that done? And just like really helping each other work to how we work best, Yeah.
I feel like there's two fundamental things we all need to master, and that's doing and not doing. And that's a crucial part of that productivity. Is like, say for me in the mornings, I used to beat myself up for years that I wasn't in the 5 a.m. club, And then when I stopped resisting it, when I stopped yearning for it or desiring it, that's when I actually started to do it. And that's when it became easier. Or say when I did sleep in and I just got up and just carried on with my day, because I do have that freedom where I can just start my morning routine at 5 or 9. It doesn't matter.
And while working together, living together, and you spend so much time, do you guys fight? And how do you manage the relationship time as well? How's that working?
If you're not fighting, you're not growing. I'd be worried if we weren't. Rumbling.
We definitely rumble. We both have really strong personalities. We both have really strong views. Like we definitely rumble. And I think like that's, it's like a workshop. Like our relationship is like a workshop.
We're both coaches, for goodness sake. Just imagine what it's like.
Where's that coming from? What is, so I find our whole relationship really is a workshop. We are always assessing, communicating, looking at what's under things. And that doesn't mean to say we do it perfectly. Like there's definitely arguing, there's definitely triggers that come up. What's really cool is that we have tools, we actually have language and we have tools and we have a self-awareness that we can kind of tune into that with each other as well. So I think that's that's really huge, isn't it? It's
And knowing
no, you say.
I was just going to elaborate on that of knowing yourself deeply is obviously that first step of knowing where things have come from, knowing your relationships with people and how they've occurred and how your mindset operates. Then it goes one step deeper when then you have that shared language and you can share it with your partner. This is honestly some of the most groundbreaking work I have with a lot of the men I work with, is then all of a sudden they have a shared language with their partner. When it comes to communication, they both know truly where it's coming from. And they can, yes, there's still resistance, there's still arguing, but they can move through it with so much more grace and so much more ease. And it's not this weird like silence at home for a week. It's just like a moment and then it's gone, it's past. And it's beautiful.
And we have like in terms of Harsh, you said about like you live together, you work together, you have a relationship, like they are all different energies. And I think like when we work together, like I have a very, strong leadership and I can be quite in my masculine energy. And then so that version, and we've been through this a lot, but that version of me doesn't work in our relationship. I can't, if I start managing our relationship like I do our business, like so there's different kind of flexes we have to find in those parts of our life. And we're still discovering that, in all honesty. Like we're always in that, like, okay. And Dee's really amazing at boundaries. Like he's great at, like, if we go out, we have monthly date nights, or we do a relationship audit or whatever, and putting phones away. And it's challenging because we love our mission and we love our clients and we love our businesses so much that we do have to make an effort to actually say, right, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're actually going to go out on a date night and we're not going to talk about that. We're going to do something creative together. Or we have some really cool hobbies that we do, like skiing and snowboarding and stuff. So that's amazing, because that just takes us completely out of business and puts us in our, our joy and our flow together. So, but there's a constant assessment of like boundaries and stuff. And I know for a lot of the high performing women that I work with as well, is that we have this like quite strong masculine get stuff done like force. And that doesn't always work in a relationship. And so that's been a big journey for me. Yeah.
And a key fundamental truth as well is around it, like air hostesses, when they're doing the safety briefing, is they always say you must put on your oxygen mask first before you help another. So I found like our greatest strength and our greatest cue is, if in business, if in personal, if in relationships with our families or something's going on, we can tell that the other is stressed, or that I'm getting agitated by her or she's getting agitated by me. Is this a clear sign that my cup isn't full or her cup isn't full? Because we can't pour from an empty cup. So when I'm looking after myself, when I'm taking care of myself, when I know I'm at my best self, I can be my best self for her, and vice versa. It's crucial.
And we actually do hold each other accountable on that. Like, Dee's pretty, like, we're both like, you need to go to the pools, or like, you need to go do something for you. And we have like a lot of accountability on making sure each other are truly our best selves. And I mean, that's a great relationship, right? It's not about me or him or one. And it's like, who do you need to be for each other for them to truly be their best self? And we also know that's in service of our mission. Is like, when we're both humming, when our relationship is working, like we create so much more impact in the world as well. It's quite interesting, like that energy. Yeah.
And just like growth, just like two vines going up a tree, they go like this, and they cross paths and everything's working and it's beautiful. And then we go our separate ways for a little bit, and we might learn some different things and we come back together.
Yeah.
And it's just trusting that process. Like much like when you see things on like how businesses, and people think business is like this, but really it's like this. It's like just embracing that journey, because that chaos is the majority of the journey, It's I love it.
Sorry about that. That's so true. And are you guys going to go into relationship coaching as well soon?
We've had a few requests. At the moment, we've got like lots of the women doing the Untapped programs, and then lots of the men are coming through to Dee's program. So it's almost like we've got this beautiful, like, they're doing the work, which is really important for us too. Is like, our philosophy is also like, you need to do some of the work yourself and then come together. But definitely brewing maybe a seminar or workshop or something. We're thinking,
But much like oxygen masks first, the women need to do the work, and the men need to do the work, and then we can bring together and work on their relationship. That makes sense?
That's so true. And when you guys, you're also planning immersion workshop, and then you have small courses like money mindset, and you do the free workshops every month or so. How's that's going? Like, is it really good to do that, or why? What is the purpose behind that?
The number one principle behind it is, how can we add more value? Like in business, it's putting a business lens on what we do. It is about who can add the most value. How can we add more value to our community, to our audience, to our buyers, or to our clients, whatever that might be. And it's the number one driving principle for us. How can we always be adding more value? Rather than getting obsessed with our products or obsessed with our services or obsessed with what we offer, it's about like, how can we give more? More.
Yeah. And they're great. Like the monthly trainings, like that Dee's been doing, and we've been doing some as well in Untapped. Like that's just beautiful to grow the community. You know, like it's just sharing that work, making sure everyone's got an access to that. And must mention, we've got a team behind us helping us set up all of that, because from the outside it can look like, wow, they're putting out so much, and yes, and we've got like, you know, a core team of 5 literally helping with all the systems and the marketing and everything. So we do, you know, get to show up in our flow and our service because of that team behind us. So, but it's been amazing, you know, all of them. And the immersion event is really special for us. That's in November, because like I said, when I first started and when we met, that was an in-person
That was the
model.
dream as well.
Yeah, and it was an in-person model. And then we went online, which has been amazing and so powerful, and there's so many limiting beliefs about, is, you know, would it have as much connection? It does. We've built a phenomenal global community, and in person has a different energy and a different you know, different breakthroughs can occur. So the immersion in Wanaka here for 2 days is about also, yes, bringing in new people, but like our community that have connected all across Aotearoa, we've got people coming from Australia, hopefully, but you know, like that is, it's about us all coming together as well. So because we've had these deep experiences online, and then
Never met them.
Yeah, never met in person.
Don't know how tall
really
they
special.
are, you know.
Yeah, and we've also got people coming who haven't done any of our programs, which will be like, what a powerful energy to step into, you know, all these people that have done a whole bunch of work. And yeah, so to be really so it's all growing, and there's a lot of energy. But yeah, I do want to acknowledge that we do have a team behind us as well, because that's, I think any entrepreneur, especially if you're feeling like kind of burnt out, or like you're wondering how is this sustainable, like you're at the point that you need to get a team. You need to get a team, and our mission keeps growing because we keep expanding who's supporting us, you know.
And how can we stay in our zones of genius and outsource the things that are other people's zones of genius is just the phenomenal step to do that. Because too many people outsource the things they don't like doing, or think people don't like doing, rather than how can I step more into what I'm good at and outsource the rest. Yeah, because too many entrepreneurs, particularly at the start, want control, want to keep everything under their control, but it's about letting go.
Yeah,
team
let the mission, it's got to be bigger than you.
I like to think of it, the framework of, as a solo entrepreneur, you've got 24 hours in a day, but then if you've got another business partner, that's 24 times 24, and then if you've got a team member, it's 24 times 24 times 24. Now I can't do that quick math, but it's a lot more than 24, right? The more team members you have, the more exponential impact you can have. So team is key. If
you can do it on your own, you're not dreaming big enough. Like you want a vision that's so big, it's like you couldn't hold it on your own. That's the whole point, is like it's got to exist and live outside of you. And that's what a team does and has enabled us to do. So
what the world values is that what contributes more. So if you can contribute more with the team and expand that, it's just gold.
Yeah.
And I do like what Briony said. One-liner.
So true. I really really agree with that outsourcing is very important. And another question I have is, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they contact you? The best way.
Yeah, we're both on Instagram is probably the easiest. Yeah, we've both got Instagram. So for the coaches, we can give you the links and stuff, but at Untapped Coaches is where we put all our coaching stuff. There's like free mini courses, workshops. We're doing a challenge like next week. Like there's so much goodness to start there. Obviously my work specifically is at Untapped with Briony and Delaney.
DelaneyDavis.com.
There we go.
DALANEYDAVIS.com.
Yeah, but we can
I will share that in the description below, just for them to see everything. I will share all the Instagrams, because I'm following all of them.
Yes.
Because I love you guys. Because my success really comes from you guys, because you're the first person I decided I'm resigning today. And you were like, are you sure? Why are you resigning? And I'm like, I planned it. I was doing Uber Eats, resigned it and doing Uber Eats. I don't mind. But working for somebody and they don't appreciate was not my cup of tea. So yeah.
Just acknowledging your heart, the courage and what you've created, and your continual commitment to expanding and growing more. It's just like been a true honor to witness. Like, yeah, you're amazing.
it always comes from you guys. I'm always watching you.
That's
Always
cool.
watching, because those stories really help me. Those things
Mhm.
that you talk about, it really, align with me. So I love you guys for all of this. I always said that I love you. I really do. And I appreciate whatever you have shared with us. Even even when I'm not your client or anything, you still supported me, because I know I have been through so many shit, but you always messaged back, and I was like, man, this girl, I just, you were a really important part of my life.
We're here for you. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I wanted to know now 5 takeaways from Briony and Delaney.
Oh, any takeaways?
Any takeaways?
Oh, okay. We have some similar philosophies and different. You go one for one.
Yeah, you go one, I'll do one. Yeah.
I think I truly believe that one around team, and that sometimes if you're stuck in your own head and you're stuck in your own way, the quickest way to get out of it is to make it about something bigger than you, right? So anytime you're like self-doubting, or full transparency, we sometimes struggle to show up online. We're like, oh, we've got to get out there again. And the thing that gets me through is like having something bigger at stake. So a vision and a mission that is bigger than you. As any entrepreneur or anyone in the world, that's going to get you continually out of your own way. So that's like one of my philosophies that I truly believe makes the biggest difference. If you're really stuck, then maybe your why is not truly big enough,
I'll stick with this notion as well. One of the biggest shifts for me as well has been realizing that nothing gets done in here. Nothing will truly shift in here. Our brains are actually pretty useless. Think about it. They get confused. They get songs stuck in them. They're constantly ruminating about the past. So the fundamental truth is that if you're in your head, you're dead. If you're in your head, you're not truly alive. You can't actually create. The only thing that can create is your language and writing. So try not problem solve in your head. Get it out. The more ideas we get out of our head, the more room we create for new ones. So clearing the slate, get them out, meditate, journal, get the ideas out. It's not good for you. It's just a waste of time.
5 things. There's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot. What else have we been up to? Another good one is like, just your environment. That we talked about your environment, like your physical environment that you live in, but also your body. Like over the last year, as if entrepreneurs are also listening to this, is like health has been an area we've like massively upgraded, and we've done lots of cleansers, and we've been detoxifying, and we've been really leveling up with juicing and all these things. And that for years I spent a lot of my life like restrictive and like trying, like don't eat that and don't eat that. And we've actually gone the other way and been like, right, we're going to add, supplements, green juices, all of this. And this has just given us so much more energy as entrepreneurs. So if you haven't doubled down on your health, do it. Like it is, and that's what you were talking about, nature and cold immersion. Like we have added so many new health habits. Yeah, it's truly an area, like, there's all the areas of life that we focus on, but that has got one that we've got such a big kickback from this past year. And
that is crucial for my next one, is around state is everything. Never ever make a decision if you feel like shit. If you're feeling tired, now's not the time to decide to pivot your business. If you feel like you want to drop a client and you're feeling exhausted, don't do it now. Go do something for yourself and only make decisions and trust those decisions that come from joy and high energy. And the first place to do that is looking after your spaceship. Because would you want to live in a dingy, disgusting, like filled with rubbish, filled with fat, filled with all sorts of disgusting things? No. So why would your mind want to? So look after your body. It's a crucial step. First step to any growth, to any change is this optimized? Is this working at its best? Concentrate there. Let's do a business one.
I think, so lots of people ask when they're in business, they want to become like sustainable or create wealth through it. And that's awesome. It's a great wealth creation vehicle. I think one thing is a lot of people ask the wrong question. They ask, how do I make more money? And Dee touched on it in the session, but the question is, how do I add more value? Because money is just an energy. We do have a money mindset program, like you said, Harsh, because that's such a big area for people to truly transform that relationship with it. But money is just an energy. It's a byproduct of adding more value. So if you're sitting there thinking like, my business isn't working, or I want to make more money, wrong question. The question is, how do I add more value than anyone else in the market? And if you do that, and Harsh, you're so good at this, you're always adding value, you're always connecting people, you're always asking great questions, you're always adding more value. So that's one of my business.
One of my best concepts that I actually learned from Briony is around just in time versus just in case learning. A lot of us, and I was guilty of this for years, as I look at all the books we've read, you know, hundreds of books and hundreds of podcasts and hours of YouTube and hours of mentoring and doing courses and all this, just in case. Learning things about marketing for one day, someday when I start my business. Learning things about leadership for one day, someday when I'm leading a team. All this just in case learning. But if you buy all your groceries for a year, what's going to happen? It's going to rot. It's not going to be useful. So I implore you to only learn just in time. Learn what you currently need. And when you say one of the best money books at the moment is The Barefoot Investor, right? And he clearly states steps. When you hear a step or read a step, stop reading, stop listening, go do that action and turn that information into transformation. Because the information age is dead. Like there's Google anything, you can get it. Now's the time for transformation. Turning all this knowledge and information into action is how you actually move the needle in your life and in your business. Just in time, just in time.
We're almost there, aren't we?
That's 3, 2 to go.
Yeah.
Each.
Action. So
Action.
what Dave was saying about information, we learn and we procrastinate by learning so much, you know, especially as business owners and things. It's like, oh, if I just learn another thing, or self-development, you know, but truly just action, because the confidence comes from taking action. Like if you're feeling like fearful and like you're an imposter, amazing, you should. You probably haven't done this thing before. And so the confidence that you're looking for, everyone waits until I feel confident. Don't wait, because it's not coming. The confidence we're truly seeking to feel grounded and confident in what we're doing is going to come by taking action. And it's going to feel messy because you haven't done it before. It's going to feel uncomfortable. If you're a perfectionist or whatever, and we're like, messy action, because that is truly where your confidence will come from.
Absolutely. I'm going to add on top of that one as well. I have a framework, Delaney Davis, do or delete.
Yeah.
And what I mean by this, do or delete, is much like on our computers or on our phones. If we have too many tabs open, what happens? It goes slow. Our computers run slow. It's using too much power. And a lot of entrepreneurial minds that are full of ideas and lots of coulds and shoulds and woulds, they open too many tabs in their brain. They open too many things on their to-do list. And what happens then is you create what's called cognitive dissonance, or essentially overwhelm. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you feel tired. That's why you're not feeling motivated. It's because you've opened too many tabs and we need to close some. So one of my favorite practices is to, at the end of every week, brain dump everything. Sometimes it gets like 100 things, of the small admin tasks to the big things. And I do a do or delete. I cross it off and be like, right, deleting it, that's never going to happen. Or I do it. And then I prioritize, and then I do and delete again until I have 5 things. Maximum. That's my 5 priorities for the week. And if I don't do them, I do and delete again until I eventually find that natural nutrition and I just start deleting most things, because simplicity is the true, you know, sophistication. It's how you create more energy and focus. It's crucial. Do or delete.
Yeah, and we really believe in energy management versus time management. We're very much in everything we've talked about, even on this session, is like, it's all about energy, right? Because your energy and your frequency you have really changes things. So we're constantly looking for things like that to like free up our energy and get our energy back. And on that note, ABC, always be celebrating. That's my last one. Like, we're so tough on ourselves and we're never there yet, and we haven't done this yet, and we're not X, Y, and Z, and we're, you know, there's heaps of marketing telling us that we're not enough yet, and we have to actually take back our power. And ABC, just always be celebrating every little win all the time, every end of every week, end of every day, before you go to bed. Like, not a gratitude practice like for your life. ABC is like for yourself. Like, I'm celebrating this win right now. I just did this. Tell some people and feel it in your body, because again, we want to generate that momentum and we want to generate that energy, and that comes by feeling like we're actually winning, and everything's a win, you know. Yeah.
One of my favorite questions is asking, well, firstly, concept is asking better questions is essential, and as a practice that I highly encourage you to create is, how can I ask better questions? Because when we ask ourselves a question, what happens? We get an answer. If I say, what's 1 + 1? You say 2. If I say, what's the capital of New Zealand? Say Wellington. You know, your brain will always deliver you an answer. What's your date of birth? You know, your brain delivers it. So ask better questions. So with a lot of the insights we've shared today, you know, like, how can I add more value in my business?
Great question.
How can I increase my energy today?
Great question.
What do I need to eliminate from my life to get more energy? Great question. I call them better questions. If we ask better questions, we'll get better answers and we'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. That's us. That's
Yes, finally we got 5 takeaways. It's
We can
amazing.
keep going if you want.
Up to you.
us.
And lastly, can we do a giveaway from you guys?
Yes, absolutely. Love a giveaway.
Perfect.
Delaney has got a little something special. So I'll create it as well for him, just because he may not create. He is a phenomenal coach. D can shift people into action and move them through their limitations like no one else. And he really, D is a really beautiful stand for people. Like, even when you're scared and your ego's like, I don't want to do that thing, D can just get people through it and move people through it. And I've seen him in action, and it's potently powerful, and he does it really quickly. So whoever gets this, I'm very excited for you.
I would love to give a one-on-one strategy session, whether it be for an area of your life or your business, to get you to drastically shorten the learning curve of where you are, where you want to be. This will just be via Zoom, one-on-one, and we can just jam for an hour. And I guarantee you'll leave with just so much more freedom, so much more energy and insight to move your desires and your dreams and your visions in your business or in your life so much further forward. Men or women, you're all open. I absolutely just love to give this gift to you, because it is just the most transformational work of coaching, and having that mirror is just so handy, particularly if you're a solo entrepreneur. It's just, so I want to give that gift of a one-to-one session with Delaney.
Perfect. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, guys, for giving your time and coming here. It honestly, you guys have changed my life like anything. I was good, but I didn't know that I was good. So the belief in me was, my confidence was shaken, and everything came back to me just because, I was listening to you. I started the program, and then everything has changed for me since then. So thank you so much for your time. And honestly, Briony, I can never forget the time that I know I was I was sitting in my car, confused. I was so feeling bad at that. I was like, why is this happening to me? And then I saw your story on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm resigning. On that day, you said resign if you're not feeling that thing. Oh, and honestly, I really, really appreciate you talking about all of those things, because you don't know who you are helping. And
thank you, Harsh. We appreciate it.
When I was in a black spot, you were the one, my go-to person. Always listen to your story. Yeah, God, answer.
Amazing.
So thank you so much for your time. And thank you for all the people listening to Briony and Delaney. Please make sure you contact her and see, know what I'm talking about. She is actually doing it, and she's amazing. And Delaney is amazing as well. And Delaney has started this table thing, which is amazing thing for men. And I know this is needed, and this would be a success. I'm always sharing it. Whenever you share about table, I always share it in my group, and I tell people, all my friends, go for it, and because it's going to help them, because it is a requirement.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time again.
Thank
really
you,
nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.